I started a brand new RuneScape account to see how much GP I could make on it within its first 24 hours. By the way, I have chosen the name Money Nuts, which I do already seem to regret, but yeah, we have to live with it. If you had to guess, where do you think I'm going first? For those of you that said the wilderness, you're already wrong. I'm just passing through. So a gnome ball fetches me about 23k, which is a great amount of cash to start with. So I'm gonna go see if I can try to get one. I should probably rename this thing to a gnome testicle. Now I haven't actually played gnome ball at level 3, so I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but we're gonna try it. Dude, give it back. Why is this thing not gonna give it to me?
I think you just...
No way.
Oh, he stole it.
No way, dude. Come on. I'm like an inch from the goal. Yeah, that's right.
Imagine missing this shot.
No way, dude. All right, what do you think the chances are I make this? Apparently 0%. I'm next to the net.
No shot. Dude, you got it. Yeah, there you go. Dude, stop shooting from that far. You're always gonna miss. Right in front of it. Right in front of it. You cannot miss this.
How did I miss that? I don't even know if I'm going to survive getting 1 point, let alone scoring 5 times, dude. This might be a mistake.
Hey!
I might be the first person who has ever died playing gnome ball. All right, I got a backup method. I really don't need much cash to start, so I'm just gonna hop around and loot this spade spawn in the construction house. All right, that is a full inventory. I barely need much GP to start this, so I'm just gonna sell these and get about 5k. Without a doubt, one of the best ways to get a bit of starting cash is to buy out the nails from the sawmill, and I'm just gonna do this in a PvP world since the chances that somebody's gonna be hopping around here trying to PK a level 3 are basically next to 0. For the record, I would literally never recommend what I just did, but you know, I don't really care. So now once we go and sell all of these nails, we turn 5k into... we turn that into about 17, almost 18k, and we're gonna do that again, rinse and repeat until we get a decent sized cash stack. You know, I'm just gonna hop to the other PvP world since I didn't even check that one yet. Funny enough, somebody actually did buy out the nails from this world. I mean, it was a long time ago, to be fair, based on how many have restocked, but they did buy out nails. So now 18k turns into about 44k. We rinse and repeat once more. This is definitely a method that you can really only do until you hop through all the worlds once, since it's gonna take a long time for everything to restock, so you can't do this that often. So with that, 44k turns into 104k. Now this is an okay money making method, I think, but I want to test it just to be sure. So you could buy 50 rock thrown hammers per world here and then sell to the GE for a profit, but I don't think that many sell in a day, so I'll just check this out. I mean, that basically took no time, although it doesn't look like you can make much GP from this, so that might have been a mistake. While we wait for those to sell, though, I have another idea. If you're like me, then learning can sometimes be boring and difficult, which blows. And you would much rather be doing something else like playing a video game or something. Wouldn't you want to be able to play a video game and learn? Well, that's exactly what the folks over at boot.dev have accomplished with their spectacular courses in programming languages like Python, SQL, and Go. Boot.dev has developed tactics for modern game design to push ambitious students towards their goal of a career in back-end development through the use of hands-on lessons that balance theory with practice. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code through these techniques to get you to ship projects and equip you for technical interviews to forge a successful programming career. You'll earn XP, levels, and achievements with Boot.dev, as well as complete quests to earn a top spot on a global leaderboard. Boot.dev also offers tons of free content that can be watched and read in guest mode. The paid membership actually unlocks the interactivity and the game that comes along with it, as well as Boots, your personal AI tutor. Boot.dev also has a 30-day no questions asked refund policy with their membership and a free demo of every course along with its interactive features. So not only is there zero risk with trying out Boot.dev, but there's actually a bunch of benefits that you can get if you're even remotely interested in learning the program. Click the link in the description or go to Boot.dev and use code FRAME to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan. Big thanks to Boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. This is probably as down bad as it gets, but you can come down to the Catacombs of Kourend and loot the death piles of all these neck reels from people just doing Slayer tasks. Sometimes they don't actually loot any of the good stuff, but even if they do, you can still get a decent amount of GP. Realistically, that's probably not something I'm going to do again, but I'm just sitting here trying to get a little more GP while the Rock Thrown Hammers sell. Okay, the Rock Thrown Hammers finally did sell, but you know, I'm not doing that method again. That was definitely a mistake. All that brings us to about a 151k cash stack. I'm going to buy myself a Camelot teleport. So here's the money making method. It's nothing crazy, but it is good to get like a few 100k. You come to this shop right here, you buy out the spades. You can basically do that with all the gardening supplies. You come on over to the tool leprechaun and you note all of them in here with storage, and you just repeat. Then once you max out, you can just remove all of them as banknotes, and if you want, you can just keep dropping them over and over and just repeating the process. All right, I've been at this for a long enough time. I'm gonna go ahead and sell all of these to the Grand Exchange. I'm just gonna go ahead and put all this in and let it slow sell for a bit, since it is gonna take a bit of time. All right, my spades have sold, and some of the seed dippers have sold, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stick these in for a bit lower. So more have sold, but the volume on these isn't exactly the highest, so I am just gonna just dump it for 100, because like I really don't need the extra GP from that. All right, so I'm gonna buy some rune plate skirts and plate legs, because just out of curiosity's sake, I want to see if this method that I used to do still does work. Now, I don't know if it still works that well anymore. It does look like people still do this, but basically you just buy these items from the Grand Exchange for lower, and you sell them for a bit higher in this shop in Narda. Yeah, I mean, I still made a little bit of a profit, but like really not by much, so it's not worth doing this method. This method is definitely a pain in the ass, to be honest, since it involves looking through a bunch of different potions at both 3-dose and 4-dose, but if you pay attention to the Grand Exchange market, you can notice at times that you can make a profit from decanting 3-dose potions into 4-dose based on the price difference between the two. For instance, as of right now, I just noticed that if I buy a bunch of prayer potion 3s and decant them into prayer dose 4s, all you have to do is just decant them here at Little Bob, you'll actually notice that you can make a bit of a profit off of it. Now, sometimes you'll notice that it slow sells, sometimes it sells pretty quick or insta sells. There we go. Now that all of that's sold, I can go ahead and show you the profit I made off of it. I made 15K, 16K in a very short amount of time just by decanting it. So I can basically do this with a bunch of different potions as long as there is a margin. And it does require looking up a bunch of different potions, and it's kind of involved, but it's worth it. So I'm going to do it. That is more potions sold, and we just turned 495K into 528K. So again, we repeat. That's got a weird pop-up in my Grand Exchange screen. I don't even know what this means. Can anyone tell me in the comments what this means? So it looks like Ceridome and Brews are now the ones that are going to be selling better than prayer potions. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can make a good profit off of these. I haven't even been rinsing and repeating this method for that long, and I've already made up to about a 1 mil cash stack. So I'm going to do it a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to move on. Okay, instead of doing it a little bit more, I've done it a lot a bit more, but now up to like a 1.8 mil cash stack about, and I mean, I'm just kind of addicted to this. It doesn't really take that long to make this money at all. I ended up checking all the different potions again, and prayer potions were the ones that ended up selling the best out of all of these, so with the biggest profit margin. Anyway, I'm going to buy myself a Black Mask 10, or in fact, I'm going to buy a few Black Mask 10s, but I'm going to try to slow buy these, and once I get them, I'll show you what I can do with them. Okay, the Black Masks sold, and all I'm going to do is literally just uncharge the Black Masks so they go to a regular Black Mask, since there's a lot more trade volume on normal Black Masks, but Black Mask 10s have a lot less trade volume, so when people get them as a drop, they tend to just dump them for a bit lower. So I can make about maybe 30 to 40K per Black Mask every time this happens. There we go. Black Masks have sold, and we ended up making a profit of about 110K. I've been doing the rinse and repeat on the Black Masks quite a lot, and it brought me up to about 3 mil overall. I mean, it's just such a good money-making method. Once you get a good one, it's kind of hard not to do it. I'll go back to those money-making methods later, but I have a lot more that I can do right now, so I'm going to move on. That is the Dwarf Cannon quest. So here's the idea. You can buy a cannon from the Lodian for 750K through the dialogue, and if you buy this and sell it on the GE, I think you can make anywhere from like 10K per cannon to maybe about like 50K cannon, but if you try to buy it in the shop, it's 200K a piece and you don't make money. So once you buy the cannons, you turn them into Dwarf Cannon sets and you try to sell them on the GE. I mean, it really depends on what they're selling for at the moment. Like, it's actively traded at 758K, but I can sell it for about almost 770K. A lot of these different money-making methods can be really good, but it really just depends on where these items are selling at in the market at the time. So I'm kind of timing everything to see when is the best time to do each different money-making method. By the way, we're about 3 hours in. We still have a long ways to go. And there we go. The cannons have sold, and we did make a good profit off of them, although it could be better. It fluctuates. When I was testing this method, before I even made this account, I actually saw that cannons went up to about 805K at one point. So they really can fluctuate wildly. I'll rinse and repeat it a little bit because there is definitely money to be made on it. That's 4 more cannons sold, and I actually just noticed that super energy potions actually have a pretty good amount of money you can make on them when decanting. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just snipe that. So these potions were slow to sell as 3 doses. So I'm probably not going to be able to do that again, but I did make a profit on them. So I did want to test out a money making method where you killed bots in deep wild, but unfortunately I just died. And I don't think it's actually going to be that viable at a low level. It's time to get my cooking level up because I want to do probably one of the best money making methods that I can do on a very low level. That is 42 cooking right there. That is 10 fletching. That's Doric's quest completed for 10 mining. That's the knight's sword completed for some much needed smithing levels. And this is going to be the tourist trap. Oh my God. I was literally so close to getting the quest done. I was literally a dialogue screen away. In case you were wondering, yes, I did have to go all the way back in and get Anna in the barrel again. So I basically had to redo the last part of the quest twice. Anyway, I'm going to be putting all that on agility. That's the point of doing the tourist trap. That's why I did it. All right, I'm going to do another quest, but I saw an opportunity to make money on super defense potions, so naturally I had to. That is the Grand Tree completed, which is the last quest I needed to do for the money making method. Although, before I do it, I actually did notice that potions are selling very well again, so I'm going to go yoink that. Margins on these potions are just so good at the moment. I mean, from the super attacks, I made 100K off of that, which is insane. And then from the super defenses, I made about 300K. All right, sorry, I'm a bit addicted to doing the potion thing, to be honest. It's like constantly checking to see where I can make money, but I will go and do the money making method that I'm supposed to do right after I sell these potions. Okay, now it's time to go do it. So now that I have the cooking level as well as all the other stats that I needed to complete the Grand Tree, I can do the gnome restaurant delivery job. Although first I need to go and max out the amount of gnome deliveries that I do. There's a few gnomes that you can do hard deliveries to that have a chance of giving you a rare item. The Grand Seed Pod is the best out of all these rare items since it can go anywhere from like 1.5 mil to like 2 mil every time you get 5 of these as a tip. There are other tips that you can get which are pretty good too, like the gnome scarf. Basically all you have to do for this mini game is just make the different orders that the gnomes request of you and deliver it to them. Now you do have to do this until you end up getting a reward token, and once you get the reward token you'll be able to perpetually just keep skipping until you get the gnome that you want to deliver to, which has the chance of giving you one of these items. So the setup for it definitely will take a little bit of time and it will cut into my 24 hours overall, but it's worth it once I actually do get that reward token. There also is a chance that I just end up getting lucky and not only get to deliver to the gnome that has a chance of giving a good item, but I actually might get that item as a tip too. So we'll see what it looks like. I actually needed to complete this quest so I can deliver to a guy, so now I can do that. No way, I actually got one, dude. I actually got the Grand Seed Pods. Yes! Right now, these are currently selling for about 429K each, although they are a slow buy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let them slow sell and just continue on doing this. I think there's anywhere from like 400 to like 800 of them sold a day, so they're slow sell, but people do buy them as a collector's item. Look at that, they sold, dude. They finished selling. That is just the freest 2 mil I have ever made in this game. By the way, I don't know how I didn't mention yet. I actually got my reward token. This is what it looks like. With that, I'm now able to deliver to whichever gnome I want to. And this guy actually has a chance of giving me his scarf, which I did not get it this time. By the way, every now and then I am stopping to just buy more potions because the money on this is just so good. It's just kind of hard to turn down whenever I see an opportunity. Like, look, after selling that, I made about 100K profit, like maybe 110K profit in like a very short time. Don't mind me just doing it now with super stores since I just made a lot of money off of them. Oh, he gave me the goggles, dude. You can get the scarf from him, which is like way more expensive than this, but I'll take it. It's not bad. All right, it's time to take a little break again and disenchant more black masks because currently the margin on it is very good. Okay, the masks have sold. We unnote them and we go ahead and uncharge them. And now we stick it in for 787K and we watch them slow sell. There we go. Masks have sold. And instead of doing that again, I actually just noticed there's a great margin on Ceradome and Bruise. So of course I'm going for that. Yes, dude, more seed pods. Thank you, Manglethorpe, you and your weird ass name. All right, I'm just gonna stick these in again for about 420K, just shy of it. 4 out of 5 have sold so far, and I gotta say, dude, every time you get a seed pod, it is just very exciting, dude. It's literally just a free 2 mil every time. So with all of those seed pods sold, that brings us up to a 9.1 mil cash stack. Made more money from decanting staminas. Also gonna be making more money from uncharging black masks as well. All but 1 black mask has sold, and I'm gonna be trying to make money off of the cannon pieces by combining them like before, but instead of buying it from the guy, I actually am trying to buy these below price. It took a little bit of time, but every piece of cannon has sold, and now we go ahead and combine it in these sets. There we go. That is 12 cannons, and now we should get a decent margin on all of them. The cannons have sold, and now we have a green cash stack. We have 10.5 mil. Oh, look, my first mint cake. That's actually not a bad drop, to be fair. That is 160k. Does anyone else remember that this is how people used to trade wealth pre-EOC? There we go, dude. The first scarf. Nice. These things insta sell for about 730k, but they slow sell for about 780k. So I'm going to stick it in for the slow sell. Basically, any money that I end up getting, I either end up investing into black masks or into potions that I can decant. It's always such a good feeling coming back from taking a break, and most of the stuff, if not everything in the Grand Exchange, is sold. It is so much nicer doing these money-making methods with more GP because you can just make so much more every single time you do one of these trades. Every time I buy one of these black masks and uncharge them, that is an extra 30 to 40k per mask. We bought them for 740k, and these are actually slow selling at about 780k. So I'm going to undercut the guy who was selling for like 785k because I'd like mine sold instead. Sorry, buddy. Bought a few more cannon pieces, and after all this is sold, I think we should have over 13 mil at this point. Those are the cannons sold, and that brings us to a 13 mil stack. I decided to do some more staminas as well, but I think it's time to do another money-making method. Now with a really good teleport, and let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to buy myself a Ring of the Elements, and this is going to give me a really close teleport to the lumber yard. I'm also going to buy runes so I can charge the ring, as well as mahogany logs to turn into planks. So now with the Ring of Elements, you can teleport directly to the earth altar, which puts us right next to the sawmill, which makes it so quick for us to actually make planks, and it makes this a viable money-making method. Well, obviously viable, but like a more competitive money-making method is really what I'm trying to say. So then we just use Castle Wars as the quickest way to bank on this account, and we rinse and repeat. Also, just so we can maintain our run energy, whenever we get low, we just teleport to the Ferox Enclave, go in the white portal, and then rinse and repeat. I think this ends up working out to be a little over a mil an hour, maybe like 1.1 mil or something like that, which honestly is pretty good, and it's pretty low brain cell activity. Yep, pretty good overall. I think I might end up doing that later. We'll see. I'm obviously buying more black masks for now, though. Come on. Why would I not? So from all these black masks, once they buy and sell again, I think I should make over 500k. This is another money-making method that I do like, but it is a little bit of a gamble at times, depending on how many scrolls you end up getting, and if the scrolls end up changing prices dramatically. But we're going to buy master scroll books, and then we end up turning them in for Watson teleports, and we should, in theory, make money off of it. Those did take a little bit to sell, but we did eventually get them. You end up getting anywhere from 10 to 20 scrolls per book, and the more you have, it's basically guaranteed that you'll profit from them. And that is the last inventory. Overall, it looks like we actually did pretty good. I'm not even sure how much we can make from this. I think it's like at least 500k. So we ended up buying the books for about 13.8 mil. I'm actually going to stick these in for under the active traded price, and I actually should walk away making a mil from that, which is great, but it takes so long for the books to sell that you really can't do this often. In the meantime, while all those sell, I'm going to go back to doing Gnome Restaurant. Oh, another mint cake. Not bad. I wish you'd give me the seed pods instead. And they have all sold, which brings us to a 15 mil cash stack. Now you can open up giant egg sacks and I think make anywhere from like 1 to 3k per egg sack, but it really just depends on how often these sell. Okay, yeah, after opening all these up, I'm pretty sure I'm only gonna make like 100k, so that's not really that worth it, to be honest. Yeah, that wasn't worth doing, but as always, I made a good profit on the black masks, so that's pretty good. I really haven't been getting that lucky for a while at the Gnome Restaurant, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy 11,000 mahogany logs to make planks, since I want to make a good amount in this video. Last time I did this, I made 24 mil, and that is definitely the goal to beat this time around. Been a little bit since I last saw you. I did initially buy 11,000 mahogany logs, but I obviously don't have 11,000 logs now because I realized that I wouldn't have the GP to do all that, and I also don't want to. I'm gonna stick them in here and slow sell them for 2,350 each. Everything is sold, and of course, because the buy limit is up on the black masks, I'm gonna go buy more of them. I'm gonna slow sell these for 773k each, and that should bring me a little over 19 mil. Okay, I love this. I love selling black masks. We're at 18 hours and 51 minutes, by the way. We could do some more cannons again because the margins are looking pretty decent missing right now on them. With all that money, we turned that into about 26 cannons overall. People are slow buying these for about 775k, so I'm going to stick them in for a bit lower. That should give us anywhere from like 500 to 600k depending on the tax. Just did a little bit more potion decanting with range pots, now Ceradomin brews. Gonna make a bit more of a profit on cannon parts that I bought from the GE, put them back into kits. All those have yet again sold. We now have a 20.7 mil cash stack. Buy limit is up on the Master Scroll book, so I'll let these slow sell overnight again for me. Even though you can basically only do this money making method like once, maybe twice a day, it's just such a good method overall. Like the money is just so great on it. All of our Watson scrolls are sold, as well as some of these stamina potions are bought, but I didn't buy too many unfortunately because not that many came through. It looks like all of our staminas are about to sell. There we go. And I'm gonna slow buy some more brews. I probably shouldn't be sitting here wasting my time waiting for another 10 brews to sell. I mean, like the margins come and go so fast because like literally like hundreds of thousands of these things are sold a day, so the price can just fluctuate so quickly. Yeah, funny enough, because I waited too long, I only made a 100k margin on that. I'm gonna slowly buy more cannons again and sell them, but I think I just need to lock in for the rest of the time and just do Gnome Restaurant. Let's go. Another 5 seed pods. That's another 2 mil. Oh, more goggles. Okay. You know, don't love it, but whatever. I'll take it. Oh, finally give me a little scarf. Thank you, Ninto. Okay, well, I got more goggles. Not bad, I guess. All the cannon pieces sold, so now I'm going to slow sell the cannon set. More goggles. Thanks, I guess. Yes, dude, another freaking scarf, thank you. All my cannons sold. That is an extra 22 mil, which brings us to a 25.6 mil cash stack, and I still have items to sell, by the way. Finally, Wingstone, finally you gave me the freaking seed pods. This one is such a bitch to get all the way here too, man. Another mint cake, yummy. Yes, dude, yes. That's basically all the time we have. It's time to sell everything. I will try and slow sell these, but I mean, we're at the end of the 24 hours, so I might just end up dumping them. We'll see. Surprisingly enough, the gnome goggles instantly sold, which is kind of cool. I can just probably sell this around 135k instantly, apparently. I'll let these slow sell for about 740k each. Well, the seeds haven't actually sold, but everything else that's important sold, which is nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and insta sell these for 369k each. So that brings us to 5.4 mil. We sold for 366, which is nice. Overall, we made 33.3 mil in the 24 hours. Actually, a little less than that. I'm not going to argue with that, man. That's pretty good. Although I will say I am never going to be doing Gnome Restaurant again for the rest of my life, hopefully.